Barry mistreats Alex for not earning enough money and intimidates her to acquire more clients. Meanwhile, the handymen receive a call from Joel. Later, Joel compensates the handyman for their services while Nick concludes his assault on the thugs. As Nick boasts about how much money he has gained, the three hear a noise around the corner. After a man departs, a bloodied Alex emerges, and Joel waves her away, with Warwick then inquiring about her. As Alex departs, a folded handkerchief falls onto her head, prompting her to look up, but she finds no one present. Meanwhile, at the end of a meeting involving three of the Big Four, Daniel questions Uranos about any ties he might have to the gang that has been recently problematic. Uranos slams a bundle of cash on the table and roughly responds that he should use that to eliminate the gang, also stating that Daniel should cease making unfounded accusations. This action leads Marco and Loretta to also place a bundle of cash on the table, while Daniel asserts that 3,000 should suffice for a cleanup operation. Uranos then inquires about who would oversee the task, with Daniel responding that the natural ones would handle it, and he would arrange everything. Warwick, Nick, and Betty go to Connie's gun shop, where they have been eating. Warwick inquires about the gang, and Connie shares what she has seen and heard regarding them. She concludes by stating that ultimately, the Big Four would dispose of them, as Warwick and Nick subtly go for second servings. Inspector Chad expresses his irritation at the handyman's tardiness, and as he struggles to light his cigarette, Warwick arrives and ignites it for him. Chad asks about Nick's whereabouts and is startled when Nick pats him on the head from behind. Chad then updates them on Barry Abbott's recent actions and requests the handyman to completely erase all traces related to him and his gang. Warwick questions what to do about Alex, but Chad instructs him to eliminate everyone. Warwick hesitates to dispatch a woman, but Nick interjects, asking Chad if they can take anything as loot, and Chad consents. Directing them to proceed with their usual activities, the two smile wickedly. A customer concludes his encounter with Alex and pays her for it. As she pulls up her knickers, she notices that she has dropped the handkerchief she found earlier on the floor. Elsewhere, Cody inquires whether it is acceptable to allow the handymen to act freely, and Chad reassures him that it is, as he has known them for a long time, but he cautions Cody about Nick. Nick watches over the gang while Warwick meets with Alex. Alex expresses regret for staining the handkerchief and requests Warwick to convey her gratitude to Nick using the sign for thanks. They have a discussion, and Warwick inquires why she is with Barry. She responds that it's because she has no other place to go. She then asks him to leave since Barry will become angry, but Warwick replies that Barry won't return, which surprises her. Nick is already in the process of taking out Barry's gang, and as he continues to finish them off, Warwick shoots from behind him, eliminating the remaining members of Barry's group. Having only sustained injuries, Barry attempts to grab a gun, but Nick drives his katana through Barry's hand. Barry begs the handyman to let him live, offering money and women, but Warwick rebukes him before fatally shooting him. An anxious Alex, having heard the commotion earlier, arrives at the bloody scene and fires several more shots into Barry's lifeless body. Alex departs, and Nick proposes to eliminate her, but Warwick refuses and drags her along with them. Chad's face displays shock when he spots them with Alex. He begins a tirade about how she was Barry's woman, but Warwick cuts him off, stating that she was their loot, which he had agreed they could have. Chad reprimands them for allowing her to survive, but Nick quiets him with a forceful kick to his police car before playfully yet menacingly reminding him that they were not under his authority. Chad concedes to their demands, and Cody is left utterly astonished that Nick is capable of speech. Alex sits outside of the handyman's office and gestures "thank you" to Nick. Warwick then opens the window and asks if she could take the phone call while he steps out. The chapter concludes with Alex answering the phone.